Right now I'm standing on the moon. That's because I installed the best space mod ever. It adds several planets, spacesuits for visiting them, and of course rockets. With those rockets, we're gonna travel to every available planet and complete every advancement to beat the mod 100%. I spawned in a pretty beautiful area and immediately started chopping down trees. Then I mined some stone and coal. By the way, we're gonna need a ridiculous amount of coal. After that, I farmed a bit of food, cooked it, and hid it down into the mines to collect as much iron and coal as possible. With the iron I mined, I crafted a full set of iron armor. I found a zombie spawner and of course looted it. Besides iron, I also found some redstone and even a few diamonds. I used them to craft a diamond pickaxe, then made my way back to the surface near a really cool mountain village. There I smelted all the iron I'd collected. I also smelled some cobblestone in the stone, then into smooth stone, and I used it to craft a blast furnace. Next, I made my very first modded machine, the coal generator. As you'd expect, it burns coal to produce energy. Crafting it gave me the carbon footprint advancement. Then I built a compressor, which turns regular ingots into plates used in most of the monster types. Using those plates, I crafted an electronic blast furnace, placed it down, and loaded it with iron and coal to make steel. That earned me the smart blasting achievement. I also went to gather more wood so I could build a house later. The last thing I crafted was a NASA workbench, which rewarded me with the rocket science achievement. Well guys, now we've got the NASA workbench. I think I'll place it right here. It actually looks pretty epic. I can say that right away. This is where we'll build all kinds of rockets, fill them up and fly into deep space. We're definitely gonna visit every planet in this survival world because, and second, we need it for the advancements. But I'll be honest, building the rocket is gonna take a massive amount of resources. So to know we'll be spent in the next few hours. Spoiler, deep underground. Like I said, I hid it back into the mines when I mined an insane amount of iron. When I returned to base, I threw it all into the furnaces and just had to wait. Instead of standing FAK, I decided to build a small platform where all our machines and storage would go, along with a future rocket launch area. And after finishing the platform, I started turning the steel into plates that we'd need for the rocket. I also collected some sand and built a small animal pen where I bred sheep and sheared their wool. The next thing I crafted was a flag. I placed it down and that's it. It doesn't do anything, it just looks cool. After that, I crafted the oxygen gear, a gas tank, and finally the full spacesuit, which should protect me from the cold, radiation, and lack of oxygen on other planets. Well, we got ourselves a spacesuit now. Yeah, it looks a little weird. For some reason, I don't have a head, and a cape looks kind of strange too. But thankfully, you can disable it. Anyway, the suit is done, and now all that's left is filling the oxygen tanks with oxygen. Pretty obvious, honestly. That's a bit of an anomaly. After that, we'll finally be able to build the rocket. To complete another achievement, I also crafted a zip gun and a radio that could tune into different interesting frequencies. But a rocket needs fuel. It won't fly on its own, so I hit it off to find some oil, which I'd later refine in a rocket fuel. While looking for oil, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We already passed 2,000 subscribers, and 3,000 isn't far away, which is honestly amazing. But first, we need to find some oil. It honestly generates in oceans, so I don't think it'll be too hard to locate. Finding oil turned out to be surprisingly easy. I found it almost immediately, and after returning home, I crafted a full refinery and placed it at my base. Then I made a cable and connected the generator to the full refinery. In inside it, I could process crude oil into rocket fuel. The process wasn't exactly fast though. So while waiting, I crafted a fan, an engine frame, and finally the rocket engine itself. I also made a rocket fin, a lifting rod, and used it to craft the rocket nose cone. Then I started assembling everything inside the NASA workbench, and also crafted a launch pad, where the rocket would eventually take off. Holy moly, this thing is huge. Alright, let's place it down. Now I just need a few more parts, and the rocket will be finished. Then we'll finally be able to fly to the moon. The only thing left is get enough fuel. And there we go. The rocket is complete. It looks absolutely awesome. Now all I have to do is fill it with fuel. Crafting the rocket earned me the baby's first rocket achievement, but I still wasn't ready to leave for another planet. First, I killed a bunch of squids to collect their ink sacs. Then I crafted a redstone block, another fan, and an oxygen loader, which uses water to produce oxygen. After filling up my suit and several oxygen tanks, I was almost ready. I crafted a brand new backpack and unlocked a few extra slots to store my supplies. I also went looking for another village to collect hay, cause, well, there is nothing to eat on the moon, and well was it. I gathered some more sand, since I need glass to build an awesome base on the moon. Alright guys, the long-awaited moment has finally arrived. It's time to hit it on deep space. Our first destination is, of course, the planet Moon. Well, technically it's not a planet, it's a moon. But I get what I mean. Otherwise, I already know the comments will be full of, oh, he doesn't even know the difference between a planet and a moon. Whew. Alright, I think I've taken everything from here. I just need to grab the radio, the furnace, and the bed. Let's put on the full space suit, hop into the rocket, and I'm pressing space. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yoo-hoo! Here we go, flying into space. You can actually control the rocket. Well, sort of. You can only rotate it. Unfortunately, you can't steer it in a different direction. And we're already halfway there. We'll be entering outer space any second now. Whoop, there we go. We're officially in space. Apparently you can build a space station around the moon, although honestly I have no idea why you'd wanna. The moon isn't exactly the most exciting place. We also unlocked the one small step advancement. Alright, let's land carefully. I can already see some kind of dungeon down there. That's awesome. Easy, easy, let's just not crash. Nice and slow, boom, that's it. We're on the moon, guys. And there is our home planet. I think I'll turn the shaders off because honestly it feels more atmospheric this way. Now let's go check out that dungeon. I've never played this mod before, so everything here is completely new to me. By the way, I can't help but notice the gravity is different here. I fall so slowly. Alright, looks like there are moon villagers living here. They sell all kinds of junk for emeralds. My librarian? Yeah, not exactly the greatest enchanted book. Alright, what do we have here? Oh, a chest. Yep, we're definitely taking all of this. And only the top floor is left. There it is. Whoa, cheese! Nice! Another advancement unlocked. You can never have too much cheese. We're definitely taking the cold too. And I should probably loot the place where I landed, cause that's where my rocket is. Without it, there's no way I'm getting back home. Mighty Moon Cheese gave me the not FDA approved achievement. Meanwhile, my oxygen supply was slowly running out, which meant I had to build a base as quickly as possible. So that's exactly what I did. The bottom part of the base would be made from cobblestone, while the upper half would be entirely glass. Once it was finished, I went mining for dash ore and also collected some ice crystals, which we'll need later. Back at the base, I placed all the necessary machines and started turning the dash into plates. Then I crafted a hopper and used it to make a water pump, which can pull water directly from a source block. At one point, I almost died because I completely ran out of oxygen. Luckily, my oxygen loader had already generated a little more. more, just to be safe. I also loaded another oxygen. Then I crafted an oxygen distributor, which could fill my entire base with breathable air. The next thing I made was the photovoltaic Ethereum cell. I'm not gonna try pronouncing that properly, I'm sorry. It was needed to craft a solar panel, and thanks to the oxygen distributor, I could finally walk around my base without wearing my spacesuit. I placed the solar panel right inside my house, which earned me the green energy advancement. It immediately started producing power. It wasn't much, but it was enough. I also completed the unconventional flight achievement by using the zip gun in space. After that, I crafted an electronic capacitor and a diamond block. To build the gravity normalizer, I placed it down, connected it to power, and suddenly the gravity inside my home felt just like it does on Earth. That even rewarded me with the Make Newton Proud advancement. I also crafted a little gadget called the T69. It shows the planet's temperature and a bunch of other useful information. I mainly needed it to the new phone Houdini's achievement. Next up was the dash engine. Then I crafted some black wool and 2 wheels. And finally I built the rover. Along with it came the new whip advancement. The rover can be filled up, and you can install an oxygen tank inside it. And that's basically it. Now we've got a vehicle that lets us drive around and explore the planet. Although, to be honest, there isn't much to do on the moon anymore. All I really have left is mining some more resources before heading to the next planet. If I remember correctly, that's gonna be Mars. I've already completed pretty much everything else here. But before returning to Earth, there's still one thing I want to do: explore the remaining dungeons. Oh no, I just ran over one of the villagers. Well, hopefully you didn't take that personally. As it turned out, that underground dungeon was actually inhabited by moon villagers. They had an entire underground village hiding down there. But instead of trading with them, I was much more interested in stealing all their loot. I even found 2 solid iron blocks, and the chest contained some really nice rewards. Alright, that is actually a pretty good loot run. I'm definitely happy with that. After exploring the village, I get back into the buggy and drove towards the 3rd dungeon. Alright, we've arrived. Time to dig straight down. Yep, definitely another dungeon. Wow, the staircase is insanely long. Guys, hurry up, my oxygen is already running low. Wow, there are so many spawners down here. Why are there so many of you? Seriously, how many mobs are in this place? I need to break these spawners as fast as possible. This is brutal, actually brutal. Ow! Wow, 1 heart left. Nope, 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 sir, please don't, sir. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Are you really chasing me? There we go, 1 spawner down. 1 more potion, I'll destroy the rest of them. Yeah, doing this without full diamond armor is definitely raw. Alright, their main spawners are gone. Now only the side ones are left. Now I need to head back to my base, mine a bit more dash so I can craft the 2nd tier rocket, and then we're off to Mars. Oh wait, I totally forgot. I never placed my flag. There we go. And you can actually upload your own image onto it. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. Boom. Alright, that was cringe. By the way, why I'm mining this ore, let me know in the comments if I should also play Galactic Craft. Sure, it's on an older version of Minecraft, but it's still a legendary mod. And as far as I know, it still has even more content than Astra. That said, the 2 mods are very similar since Astra is basically a modern remake of Galactic Craft for newer Minecraft versions. And one more reminder, subscribe to the channel. I know you guys won't do it unless I remind you. Come on guys, I never forget to upload videos, but somehow you keep forgetting to subscribe. How does that even happen? After mining enough ore, I returned to my base and started packing everything up so I could move it back to Earth. Then I hopped into my rocket and flew home. Once I landed, I placed all the important machines back down and headed into the mines for more iron. Along the way, I found a skulk biome and right next to it an ancient city. Naturally, I completely looted every single chest. Thankfully, there was so much coal down there that I didn't have to mine any myself. I also had to spend a little time running away from the warden. Back at home, I unloaded all my loot, smelted the iron, and hung up the painting I found on the moon. I also placed the cheese block. I honestly don't know why it's sitting there. I turned the dash into blocks and started processing the iron and coal into steel. While everything was smelted, I took my rover out to collect more oil. I filled several buckets, crafted another rocket nose cone, a dash engine, dash tanks, and finally the tier 2 rocket. Boom! The tier 2 rocket is finished. That also unlocked the next step advancement. It's definitely much bigger than the first one, but also looks way cooler. You can really feel the power. Now I just need to fill it with fuel that's currently being processed over here, and then we're off to Mars. I don't really see the point in breeding a ton of extra stuff, so let's just go. I've got oxygen tanks, an oxygen loader, a full generator, and plenty of coal. I think I remembered everything. And if I didn't, well, I'm screwed. Bum bum bum. Off we go to Mars. I wonder when humanity will actually reach the point where we can fly to Mars, or if we'll ever get there at all. Maybe we'll wipe ourselves out before that ever happens. At least in Minecraft we can already do it. Mars, here we come. We unlocked the Martian advancement. Alright, probably time to slow down. Oh, I can already see a dungeon. Nice. There is the rocket. Let's place it down immediately so I don't lose it. There we go. I'll also fill it up right away. So what's the temperature here? Minus 65 degrees? Honestly, that's not even that cold. I'd say it's basically Miami Beach. On Mars, all we really need to do is loot the one dungeon. As far as I know, there is only one dungeon here, unfortunately. Then I just need to mine a bunch of ore so we can craft a new spacesuit and travel to even more planets. Anybody home? No, nobody's here. Metal, emeralds, alright. That's actually pretty good. The only thing I really needed on Mars was a new ore called Astra, which only generates on this planet. While exploring the caves, I also met the planet's only native creature, some weird bug-looking thing. After wandering around a little longer, I even found some diamonds before flying back home. Once I got there, I had to deal with a zombie attack, then threw the new ore into the furnace to smelt. The next thing I crafted was a few electronic capacitors. I also made 2 Astron blocks and used them to craft an energizer, whose only purpose is storing energy. Crafting the energizer rewarded me with the electric boogaloo advancement. Next, I crafted an anvil and enchanted my pickaxe with silk touch. Using it, I collected some ice. I also made sure to gather even more oil while I was out. Back home, I crafted blue ice and then used it to make a cryo freezer, which produces a second type of fuel by consuming ice crystals. The special thing about this fuel is that it's 3 times more efficient than regular rocket fuel. Unlocking it earned me the cold stuff advancement, and crafting the cryo freezer rewarded me with the ice baby ice advancement. Now, all I had left to do was craft my new armor and build another rock so I could continue exploring space. To make the upgraded armor, I first needed a full set of diamond armor, so I headed back into the mines for diamonds. While I was there, I also collected some obsidian so I could build a nether portal. I found enough diamonds pretty quickly and built the portal once I get back to the surface. Then I crafted a full set of diamond armor and even gave it a few enchantments. I also added it made into my sword. And then came the most tedious part of all. I had to raid a bastion to find a Netherite upgrade smithing template. Luckily it was sitting in a second chest I opened. After that, I dug down to start mining ancient debris. I'm not gonna show that part, because I end up doing it in almost every single video. Eventually, I collected enough debris to craft Netherite. I duplicated the upgrade template, placed down the new smithing table, and upgraded everything to Netherite. Then I turned that full Netherite armor into a brand new spacesuit, and honestly, it looked absolutely awesome. I also finished crafting the remaining blocks I needed for the rocket. After putting everything together, I unlocked the final frontier achievement. I packed a few useful machines with me, loaded the rocket with fuel, and got everything ready for the next journey. Alright, the rocket is ready. Time to head to the next planet. I should probably eat something first though. I really like this rocket way more than the previous one. It looks so much bigger. And once again, goodbye Earth, but I'll definitely be back. Alright, our first destination this time is Mercury. Let's land. I turned the shaders off. Oh no, I think I'm about to land straight in lava. That's not good. Slow down! There we go. Well, we're officially in Mercury. And honestly, we only came here for one reason. Wow. Although, I have to admit, with shaders, this place looks incredible. It has this perfect atmosphere of silence, loneliness, and emptiness. Right, Mr. Cube? We basically came here just because, well, not exactly just because. We came here to unlock the Quiet the Sun 10 advancement. There is literally nothing to do on this planet. Let's get out of here. Yoo-hoo! But honestly, it was worth visiting. The scenery is amazing. Alright, now let's land on Venus and unlock the Venusian advancement. Now this planet is a lot more interesting, because there is actually something to explore. There are 2 dungeons here, so I'll be staying a bit longer. I also noticed that the gravity feels almost exactly like it does on Earth, which is pretty nice. Without shaders though, this place looks kind of terrifying. Everything is covered in thick smoke. It definitely looks much better with shaders enabled. Alright, what's this place? Are those piglins? Oh, alien piglins. Alrighty then. Let's see what they've got inside their chests. You guys are complete idiots. You literally knock each other off. Honestly, they don't even look like piglins anymore. They look more like one-eyed dogs. At least that's what they remind me of. Alright, get out of here. So, what's inside the chest? Diamonds, not bad. Although I would have preferred finding new ore instead. After looting several chests, I didn't really find anything interesting. So I headed over to the second dungeon. It was also filled with alien mobs, but they weren't much of a challenge. The chests contained a few diamonds. Unfortunately, since I already had netherite armor and diamond gear, most of the loot wasn't particularly useful anymore. So instead, I went mining for calorite, the new ore that only generates on this planet. Venus also has enormous cave systems, so collecting enough of it didn't take very long. I even went for a swim in lava. Thanks to my new armor, I could literally swim through it without any problems. After gathering enough ore, I placed my rocket down and flew back home. Once I landed safely, I smelled the new ore and crafted upgraded tanks, 2 new engines, and all the remaining components needed for a completely new armor set. Well, now I've got the strongest spacesuit in the entire mod. That unlocked the Rocketman advancement. Now the only thing left is, surprisingly, building one final rocket and flying to the last planet. And by the way, I can actually fly around like Iron Man now. That's so cool. I just need to make sure I don't crash. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I need a couple more pieces. Hopefully that'll be enough. Yo, almost exactly enough. Now we throw everything into the NASA workbench. The engine, the tanks, and done. We get the tier 4 rocket along with the to infinity and beyond advancement. Now what's left is filling it with fuel. So let's make one last trip to collect some oil. With this new suit, it'll only take a second. filling up the rocket for the very last time. There we go. Oh, no, you're the last thing I want to see here. Let's just leave. Alrighty then. Time to eat, hop into the rocket, and let's go. As far as I can tell, there's only one advancement left. Here we go. This is definitely my favorite rocket in the entire mod. It looks so incredibly powerful. If I remember correctly, all the rockets in Galactic Craft look almost identical, but here every single one feels different. And I might be imagining it, but this one even seems to launch faster, although maybe that's just an illusion. Alright, let's select Proxima Centauri, and this planet right here. There we go. We unlocked the Interstellar advancement. By the way, that's one of my favorite movies. Boom, 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 we've landed. This planet is home to these little creatures. They're kind of like mountain gods, except they're definitely not mountain gods. They're just these funny little alien dudes. As for ores, everything pretty standard here. There is no new ore to collect, and honestly there is absolutely nothing else to do on this planet, which means we've officially completed the Ad Astra mod 100%. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and by the way, I didn't bring a launch pad or any extra fuel to this planet, so I guess my survival adventure ends here for good.